Kampala, ready to talk to Tebandeke Charles, the MP for Bale, to interrogate further the issue of Kayunga. Take it away, Stephen Imbide. Good morning once again.
Good morning to you once again, Romeo Busiku. Yes, what happened in Kayunga is still a matter of contention amongst the NUP supporters. But what exactly transpired in Kayunga? One of the MPs who were arrested and other people is with me here, Charles Tebandeke. What exactly happened? You were arrested on the eve of the election, and the state is accusing you of getting yourself involved in malpractices against the electoral processes.
Thank you. Allow me first of all to greet my people. Good morning Bale, good morning Kayunga, and good morning Uganda. I'm happy to join you this morning. There are a lot of contentious issues. The arrests are a sequence, they are undefined. Some others were arrested in this guise of violating lawful orders. And in actual sense, we don't bear any order that is lawful when it did not go through Parliament. I was amongst the victims arrested under the same charges. But I'm again a member of Parliament whom is assumed to be an essential worker with clear identities that we are supposed to move throughout the entire time. But surprisingly, on the 15th day of this very month, that night of curfew was exceptional to only NUP cadres. Actually, we arrested a number of about 200 people, victims, if I'm to say, but surprisingly, all of us, we were NUP. And the curfew limitation that very day was only liable to arresting the NUP cadres. None of the NRM guys moved under illegal hours. None of the NRM members went contrary to the curfew guides. Other people were arrested for disorganizing, in this guise of disorganizing the election activities. But again, these are the very people who are being ousted from their guest houses. A point in the case, we have the Honorable Mukasa Aloysius, my colleague in Lubaga South, who was arrested from the guest house at 6 p.m. It was curfew time. Others was the Mayor Mutebi Julius of Chira Town Council, who was arrested from a fire guest house. Inside, not outside, not even at the veranda, but inside, while getting arrested. Then the curfew guides and the orders, directives, depending on the president, were very clear. Once you arrest someone in this guise of going contrary to the lawful orders, is mandated to park where he has been arrested.
You as a member of Parliament, coming from Kayunga, you will also belong to NUP, you are contesting this election. Do you have valid, reasonable evidence that will go beyond reasonable doubt before the courts of law if you proceed that, if you take that route, to make sure that this election is really is invalidated?
Actually, had we to fail to go to court, we would have been doomed, and we would have betrayed all Ugandans. However, the evidence is clear, is viable and visible. In the first place, all the polling stations, all the records, all the votes gathered from all polling stations were being directly read by the returning officer within the tally center, of which those recordings are there. Even any TV, I believe, we have those recordings. Reading score polling station per candidate. Surprisingly, by around 5 a.m., our candidate was leading by 15,000 difference, because in our internal tally center, our candidate managed to gather 35,212 votes against the NRM cadre, who had gathered 20,616. But that one was by 5 a.m. and the entire activity ceased because our candidate was leading. And from 5 a.m. to the time when the Justice Byabakama came in, the records, the data changed drastically.
When you look at the numbers in Kayunga, over 190,000 registered voters,
Yes.
and when you look at the number of people who turned up, at least going by the records, not even 70 people participated in this vote. Is there voter apathy, or is there people losing interest in voting over the whole exercise?
I think people, like any other voting exercise, more so the by-elections, the turn-up is normally low. But again, for this very specific purpose, the intimidation was high. If it was a peaceful election, it bears no any account to pile up all the member, all the security agencies. It's more or less an arms race, not security. Justice Byabakama had the meeting before the election, and the account he gave for deployment that Kayunga we normally have violent elections, which is contrary to our records in Kayunga. We have never registered any evidence of a violent election. What we normally have are the unfair and free elections, and that's what even existed. And what brings about the unfairness is the connivance, the alliance, the corruption within the Electoral Commission itself and the security agencies. Because I've never seen any voter stuffing the ballot papers. I've never seen any...
Even the NRM is accusing you that you also participated in voter bribery and other malpractices.
Like which one? Let them bring evidence. The evidence we have is very clear, and all Ugandans saw. By around 6 a.m. on the voting day, we had a lot of ballot boxes filled up with pre-ticked ballot papers. For instance, at Nachesanja polling station, and even in Kayunga, the enormous activities that were done. I did not see any RDC from NUP going at gunpoint, firing live bullets, and dispersing away voters, and inserting in pre-ticked ballot papers, like the one I saw. This one of Nakaseke was in Masaka. Bamwine, who went at Chiato Morola under the protection of security agencies.
Kayunga is considered to be one of the contentious areas, hotspots. But what makes Kayunga this big, a big issue as Kayunga? But also, I'm told that you, the area leaders, are telling the councillors of the district not to work with the supposedly the declared winner, Muonge.
No, you need to be very, very evidential when speaking certain issues. Kayunga is only on a hot spot during this very by-election.
At least we're looking at the issues of the lands.
It's just on a hot spot when it's turning opposition. But before it has been always fair. We have never registered, I've told you, I've never registered any violent election. What makes it hot or hot spot because it is now voting contrary to the interest of the ruling party. Now, even as you critically analyze where they were heavy deployments, those were the places which they spotted as hot, which were not supporting them. So all the allegations that have been put in place, they don't bear any truth.
Okay, finally, is it true that you as the area leaders are rallying the councillors, the people of Kayunga, not to collaborate, not to work with Muonge?
No, we are not rallying, but every wise person, every understanding person, every political full person, anybody having ambitions in leadership cannot welcome this. This was beyond rigging but robbery. Therefore, any wise person, any genuine person, you cannot line up with the robbers. This was a violation of the constitutional mandate to the people of Kayunga. It's constitutionally noted and alleged as indicated in Article 1, subsection 1, subsection 2, subsection 3. Power belongs to people. People have a right to vote depending on their interest and conscientiousness that determine their decision, and the people have a right to decide on who to lead them and how to be led. And that exercise, all those rights are bared into the Constitution and through a free and fair election. So if Justice Byabakama and Chomuchuzi, I think was given Omuchuzi, and maybe and the Prime Minister wanted to defile and mock the people of Kayunga, did not count in us in a sense. For the people of Kayunga decided, then they went contrary, defied their decision. This is not a political game, but Kayunga people are looking for justice. And tomorrow, we are swearing in our chairperson 5, who won election and who bears the mandate of the people. We shall not tolerate the secondary RDCs in the district. It will be a manipulation and servicing their personal interests, but not the interests of the people. Kayunga is for the people, not for one person, not for Justice Byabakama, not for the Prime Minister, not for Chomutunji. And Chomutunji, who have a poor record regarding your name.
That is the returning.
Is bitter and smells a bad odor. We shall not tolerate.
That is referring to the returning officer, district returning officer. This is Morning at NTV. Stephen Imbide, thank you so much, Honorable Charles Tewandeke, the MP for Bale County, for sparing your time and speaking to us on Morning at NTV. Back to you, Romeo Busiku, in the studios.
Is Bale's Charles Tewandeke saying he's going to rally all leaders of sound mind within the jurisdiction of Kayunga not to work with the newly elected LC5 chairperson Andrew Mwonge, saying he is not the legitimate leader but rather than Harriet Nakwede. We shall actually keep on looking at what is coming in from this area and bring you those details as they continue to culminate.